Kicking off the 50 most famous video game Easter eggs of all time is the TECHNOBLADE reference in the Minecraft launcher. Mojang decided to add a pig with a crown on its head to honor the man himself, making this the newest Easter egg on the list. We're bringing this all the way back to Borderlands 2. Players were able to find a secret cave full of creepers and Minecraft pickaxes. I mean, you could even get unlockable skins. One of the most famous Easter eggs in gaming history was discovered in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, when players decapitated every single mannequin in Nuketown, and doing this would of course unlock a secret ATARI minigame. And in 2005, with the launch of God of War, you could destroy the Ares and Minotaur statues, and it would give you a secret code. If you put these numbers into your phone and called it, KRATOS would actually pick up and talk to you. This Easter egg is 17 years old, and the phone number still works to this day. SKYRIM is an iconic game, but it also has a reference to its competition. If you climb to the top of the highest mountain, you could find a Notch pickaxe. Now, it looks like a normal item, but the name is a reference to the creator of Minecraft, Notch. World of Warcraft's most viral clip of all time is LEEROY, and Blizzard actually turned him into an NPC because of it. He could also be found in Hearthstone. In Grand Theft Auto 4, when players got close to the Statue of Liberty, they realized that she had the face of Hillary Clinton, but this wasn't all. If you went through a secret door and climbed up the ladder inside, the statue has a beating heart. And in the original Metal Gear Solid, you could talk to Psycho Mantis, and he would prove his power by reading the data on your memory card. He would literally describe your playstyle, and one of the best tricks to beat him was unplugging your controller from the first slot and putting it in the second. Talk about 200 IQ, but a more modern Easter egg belongs to Apex Legends, where players were able to complete a series of events and puzzles to unlock Nessie, and a giant Loch Ness monster would appear in the ocean for all to see. In Black Ops 1, the main menu screen involved you being strapped to a chair, but it wasn't until days later people realized you could actually spam your triggers to break free. If you explore the room, you'd find a computer terminal full of secrets and a new mode called Dead Ops Arcade. An Easter egg that scared millions of people was hiding in Resident Evil 4. If you shot the water in the lake out of curiosity, you'd be rewarded with a jump scare achievement. One of the most unsolved mysteries to date is the Mount Chiliad Easter egg from Grand Theft Auto 5. From cryptic symbols on the wall to UFOs appearing at night, the full puzzle is still being uncovered to this day and is considered the biggest Easter egg hunt of all time. In Far Cry 4, at the very start of the game, the villain asks you to wait for him to return. While most players would begin their journey here, if you actually wait, he comes back and the game just ends. Because Mojang were a fan of DEADMAUS back in the day, he has his own exclusive skin in the game, and his iconic mouse ears are attached to his username permanently. Deep in the forest of Grand Theft Auto 5, you can spot BIGFOOT, and if you eat golden peyote, there's a way to play as him for a brief amount of time. In Dead Island, there's a hut in the woods that's a one-to-one replica of the cabin from Friday the 13th, and outside guarding it is Jason Voorhees himself. Once you complete the campaign of Modern Warfare 2, you unlock the Museum mode, where you can view some of the game's best moments. But if you press a small red button, the museum comes to life and attacks you. In Star Wars The Force Unleashed, a hilarious Easter egg can be found during the Kashyyyk level. I'm not even joking, on one of the walls in the trophy room, you can spot Jar Jar Binks frozen in carbonite. One of Five Nights at Freddy's most infamous characters started off as a simple Easter egg. There's a chance that a poster in the halls changes to a creepy face, and if you turn off the camera the second you see it, Golden Freddy will appear in the office. Metal Gear Solid 3, if you want to avoid the boss fight against the end, there's a secret chance to kill him with a sniper earlier in the game. If you do it correctly, it lets you skip the fight later. With the remaster of Modern Warfare 2, you're able to inspect your weapons for the first time ever, but if you do it without holding a gun, this happens. Hidden in the room of ARKHAM Asylum, players found blueprints on the wall for the next game in the series years before it was even announced. It would eventually be released as Arkham City. As you explore the amazing open world of Red Dead Redemption 2, you can come across some brutal crime scenes, and they all have notes left behind by a serial killer. You can follow the secret storyline and actually unmask a pretty dark Easter egg. Moving on, in Skate 3, players discovered a secret cheat code called Dead Space 2, and once entered, it would let you play as Isaac from the Dead Space games. Over in Valorant, there's a store on the map Split called Scuttle Shack, and in the crates outside you can find dozens of Scuttle Crabs from League of Legends ready for sale. There are tons of retro style levels hidden in Doom 2016, and they are designed to pay tribute to the original games. Some are even replicas of old levels from the 90s. And in Battlefield 4, after spending months trying to solve the puzzle, the community worked together to finally unlock the famous Megalodon. At the beginning of Ocarina of Time, you could look into one of the castle windows near Princess Zelda and see pictures of Mario characters hidden inside. With the launch of Pokemon Go, the whole world went crazy, crazy, but those with patience realize that if you ignore your starter Pokemon, you are given Pikachu instead. This goes one step further literally, because if you walk 10 kilometers with him, he hops on your shoulder, referencing the animated series. And fans of Lost were impressed when they played Just Cause 2 and noticed one of the craziest Easter eggs of all time. If you went to the island in the top left corner of the map, your plane would crash every single time, and on this island were a ton of references to Lost, like the smoke monster, the hatch, and the writing on the beach. At Spider-Man PS4, the developers added a sign that says, "Maddie, will you marry me?" It was for a fan who wanted to propose to his girlfriend, but it turns out she said no and started dating his brother. And the single most famous Easter egg in the history of gaming is the KONAMI code. It was a cheat code that worked in over 100 KONAMI games and is referenced in thousands of movies, books, and video games. You can even say it to Alexa or Siri. Another famous Easter egg is one that was never actually real in the first place. 2010 Dead Ace Films trolled the world with their Modern Warfare 2 Old Lady Easter egg. It was fake, but has almost 20 million views to this day. Another famous Easter egg is one that was never actually real in the first place. Fortnite is full of Easter eggs, but one of the most iconic is the Big Rig statue. It's a reference to TRUCKASAURUS from The Simpsons and a nod to Optimus Prime. Minecraft's most famous Easter egg is DINNERBONE, where you're able to name your pet after a developer and some weird effects are applied to it. The best example is, of course, DINNERBONE, which flips any mob upside down. Elden Ring was created by Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones, so it's no surprise you can find a sword in the game that looks exactly like the Iron Throne. And one of Fallout 4's vaults, there's a recreation terminal that you can interact with, and it'll let you play Red Menace, a Fallout version of the Donkey Kong arcade game. Take a helicopter in Vice City and land on this rooftop. One of the nearby windows is actually a fake wall, and if you jump through it, you'll find a literal Easter egg. It simply says, "Happy Easter." At the Davenport homestead in Assassin's Creed 3, you can find a turkey and feed it, but if you do the KONAMI code when standing near it, the turkey will get their own little hood. In Pokemon Red and Blue, players discovered a glitch that let you find a Pokemon named Missing No. It wasn't meant to be in the game, it was pretty creepy, but it ended up being one of the most famous video game glitches of all time. Duke Nukem Forever, during an underwater mission, you can swim to a secret area which has the decapitated head of a psycho from Borderlands.
At least he got an ending.
During a scene in Life is Strange 2, you can come across some mushrooms on a tree, where one of the kids says it looks like a clicker. This is a reference to The Last of Us and its famous clicker zombies. In the surprisingly popular X-Men Origins Wolverine game, there's a room that has a birthday cake surrounded by the word surprise. This is a tribute to Portal's infamous cake, which we all know is a lie. Cyberpunk 2077 is full of Easter eggs from Breaking Bad to Akira, but one of the coolest is when you could find a BB container from Death Stranding, complete with an actual baby inside of it. In the very first Dead Rising game, the mall includes a ton of stores, but outside of the theater, you could find one called Jill's Sandwiches. It's a reference to this Resident Evil meme.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
And during the wedding mission in Hitman Blood Money, there's a small coin on the ground, and if you shoot it, a ton of topless men surround you. It's a pretty weird one. In the other versions of the Nuketown Easter egg, you don't just get to play Atari. In Black Ops 1, a Rolling Stone song plays, while in Cold War, you get special HUD effects. And an extremely funny Easter egg can be found in a bar in Cyberpunk 2077. Here you can find Hideo Kojima in the lounge rambling about his games. This character is named Oshima, which in Japanese is the opposite meaning to Kojima. And easily one of the most recognizable and famous video game Easter eggs of all time is in The Witcher 2. While storming a castle, you can come across this failed leap of faith from Assassin's Creed. And finally, during the Apex Predator mission in Hitman 3, you could go into a back room and find the Potato Jesus meme painting in the background. That wraps up the most famous video game Easter eggs of all time. Hope you all enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on T5G.